Well, hello people, and welcome back to part 33 of Egginburgh, our Cities Skylines 2 build. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Recently we've been getting back into the more kind of modular building in CS2. We've done kind of big commercial malls surrounded with car parks. That last episode we did this big oil refinery to help satisfy some industry demand. But there are a few outer line networks and some space around the rivers I'd like to explore today, so let's get into a really fun network planning episode using some of the new train stations, parks, and preparing to develop a brand new part of the map. So we'll start today's road network frame episode right on the edges of Whiskey, on the South Cask estate actually. So we have a road over here. That's just a regular highway road and it just sort of ends. So the new town I envision is going to be based around these waterways and maybe a little bit of this coastline too. I guess it depends how big we really want to go. There's trains to bring in here as well. So let's come into our highway roads. We're going to grab our 4-lane two-way. And let's also have our topography view on here as well. And without anarchy on, because otherwise we'll end up with trees in the road, I'd like to start bringing this country road over here. So it will generate us a little fill pattern there, which I'm quite happy with. Let's cut that back a little bit. Don't want to do too much terraforming here. I'd rather leave a lot of the natural shape of the mountain in place. And then let's wind this around. And let's just sort of eye up where we want to approach here. So probably want to be coming down toward the rivers. So let's begin something of a descent without making it too insane on the gradient where we can help it. And then when we do come onto these contour lines, we'll try and follow them so it's not insane. So how does this look kind of approaching down? There's a couple of little sort of lumps and bumps as it descends, but nothing horrific I don't think. And I like the way the road kind of sits through the gully here. It's quite nice, isn't it? Very cool. I guess we'll have to pretend there's some kind of drainage here because that would probably flood in rain, but pretend there's a little drainage hole through it, right? Cool. Well, that's going to go off down there. This will serve as obviously one of the main arterials into the new town. Which I will actually extend the naming opportunity to you guys since we named Whiskey, Bourbon, and Inverness after your suggestions, so please do leave suggestions down below for the name of this new town. And this road here is just going to snake off toward the coast to be developed at some point in the future. Fabulous. And we've got quite the harbour here next to some really nice mountains actually, so really nice waterfront possibilities here, especially with these big mountains nearby too, isn't there? So I look forward to something there. Now I'd also like to cross the river here at some point as well. So let's find an appropriate place to do that. Now, I imagine the bulk of the town is going to lie around this larger body of water here, and then through this river into this one, before the terrain becomes a little bit too rugged again. So with that in mind, let's aim to maybe split the highway off somewhere around here. Now, I'd also like to do a little bit of terraforming here because the height difference is quite severe between the two layers. So let's have a little look. Let's go for possibly this height here. Now we're going to turn up quite a harsh terrain brush here. And then just trim that off so it's a lot more buildable. And we're not going to do the whole thing, obviously, because I want to get down to the waterfront here as well. But at least just where I know I want my bridge landing, I'd rather it come over at the same height. So with that there, let's terraform to this height. So that's quite a bit down. So let's bring it roughly to where this highway comes. Probably there is going to be okay. Let's re-soften that out so it looks a little bit more natural. Then we know we can have our highway kind of peel off here, down onto that same layer. And that will do some finer sort of slip lanes here in a second, rather than just having this as the regular junction. So let's actually trim this road down into a 2-lane. And then we will use our 2-lane truss bridge here as well, I think, to cross over the water. Now 180-degree angle, that should give us roughly what I'm after. The iron trusses are just about out of the water, aren't they? Which I know is a problem. We do need to be careful of that. But otherwise, I think I'm pretty happy with that. I do like it. Now, bearing in mind we're going to be building a waterfront around here at some point in the future, I wouldn't mind also having a road kind of come underneath this bridge. So if we can grab a little layer, maybe 2 or 3 lines, just above the waterline, and then push that under the bridge. Obviously this is going to be very obviously terraformed at first, but we'll blend it in. as we always do. And then just have this come around the river. We're really going to kind of isolate this middle kind of mini mountain, I suppose, isn't it? And just through there, because I want all this space to be buildable, and it's very much not at the minute. Cool, so let's trim all that back, and we'll refine it once we know exactly how much room we need when we come to do finer builds in this area. Soften it out again just so it's not a massive eyesore. We can then start to develop some really nice layers in between all these bridges that we're building. We'll have this one come under here, chance for a little bit of an industrial waterfront around here maybe. The city still has just relentless industrial and office demand, so it's likely we'll address those first when we come to start building this town. Cool, and that can then develop over there to go over that way, and then we'll start seeing some really cute layers around here, right? So it's nice sort of designing this stuff, especially with how beautiful CS2's road tools are now. And then as this comes across, let's come back into our regular highway roads, and we will just bring this back down to earth. That can continue, and then we'll probably switch back to just normal roads here rather than highways. So turn anarchy back off while we're coming through trees, and then we'll have this come straight through the town. So even though we are kind of building out just the road and network structures today for today's episode, I really wouldn't mind introducing just some initial kind of service infrastructure. So schools, but not really functioning as schools. We'll talk about that in a second. Let's go ahead and bring our brush mode on, remove the selection. Just clear out some of these trees here so we have a clearer idea of what we're doing. So in terms of those services, I wouldn't actually mind using stuff like the original elementary school here to function as essentially as kind of a little town hall or like a municipal service centre, some kind of government building basically, because it does look very kind of government focused, the elementary school, doesn't it? So let's come here, we'll do 56 meters this side. And then we'll do the same this one as well. Let's find 56. It's that grid spot pattern there. Bring it all across, and then we'll centralize this within the road frame. So let's grab that one there. So really trying to use the elementary school as a bit of a town hall and a town centre here, rather than an actual school itself. Of course, it is going to need its services, so let's have a look at that now. In terms of power, of course, Egginburgh has plenty of it. I would love to have a little rural power line that's going to follow the highway all the way from Whiskey down toward the new town. So let's have this follow down, and then we'll bring it down so far, and then we'll bring the town power infrastructure under the road network by upgrading everything with lights. Should do us there, and then let's just hook this underground for right now. Cool, and then we can definitely factor that power line into the design as well, as we want those kind of rural power poles knocking around. There was something awkward that's happened to my bridge there though. And then sewage we'll also put underneath the highway as well, straight the way back through to Whiskey. And that provides us power, and then when we come to design this area, we've now got much more sort of solid town centre to work with. Just because of the relentless education demands in CS, we'll go ahead and give it its upgrade right now, and probably the clinic as well, but definitely not the playground here, since I'm trying to repurpose this asset, of course, into a town centre municipal building, rather than an actual elementary school. And let's have that come down the middle, and we can really build something off of that, can't we? So this is going to take place for one of the main sort of town centre districts in this bit of the city. I'd also love the train station to come over here as well. So let's find out where we could possibly place that. I'd love it quite close to this building over here. So let's actually remove these roads here, and then we'll bring it straight down either side. It makes a little more sense there, doesn't it? You okay? You should still have your services. There we go. Don't know what that was about. So let's take a look at one of the new train stations we got. Of course, there's a number of them now, isn't there? So there's medium and small, and that's it, isn't it? Yeah, just the two new trains. I think we'll probably go with medium. I think this is quite nice here, isn't it? I love the little outbuilding on this. I really wish we could place this as a ploppable. It's not pickable, is it, with the picker tool? It is not, unfortunately, which is a real shame, but maybe one day. So I think we'll have that there. Let's go with that then. So we'll go with medium. Let's just delete them for right now. And we'll set them back a little bit off of the road here. So I'd also like to use some of the new parks with these new stations as well. So let's grab one of the larger ones, probably not the hedge one. How about the passage park maybe? Maybe we can go for that one. And then we'll probably bring an alleyway road around the side. Something like that extent, which is 96 meters. So let's do another 96 from this one. There we go. And then we'll place a mirrored park on the opposite side, which will make itself more difficult. They really don't like snapping to side roads. It's super annoying. It's fine. We'll just use move it to grab it in. Fortunately, it is starting to snow again. And then let's just have you... Oh, you will whinge about your connection with move it there, won't you? We still work on the other side, perhaps? I mean, yeah, I can get away with that, I think. I think I really like that. Great fusion of a park asset there, isn't it? Let's go with that then. That works. And then we will grab our medium train station. Of course, we'll have the line end just at the end of town here. Have that blended into the town. And then I really like things sat around it, so when we do come to expand the road network, maybe we can have a little alleyway road come off to the side here and actually come behind. The station might be an appropriate place for a little bit of local industry, perhaps, over here. Just some small warehouses. Blend that in, get some fencing around this as well, so it's not like people can just stroll onto the track. For which I probably imagine the cute little... Then again, maybe not industrial fence. Maybe we'll just do some hedge work, actually. Let's do hedge high. And we'll just have this sit around the station to an extent. Maybe just have it come back into the building like that. Yeah, I think that's the play there, isn't it? And then similar sort of vibe down this way. And we can get away with the hedge around the train station there, can't we? I think that's pretty tasteful. And then people will emerge into this new town here with some nice new parks. And I think I'm pretty happy with that. And maybe with the road networks here, we can use better bulldozer to chip off some of these fences and actually have the paths come up and down to the station. That might be quite fun. But that's finer detailing work. We'll worry about that in some sort of time lapse at some point. Now let's decide exactly where we're going to hook the train in, because obviously there's multiple train lines here. In terms of the nearest station is the one at Whiskey, which of course runs across the rest of the city. So let's have a look what's going on here. So I'd love to connect into the outside connection Inverness Whiskey outside connection one. That does, however, mean we would have to figure out a way to bring the outside connection back into play via this way. Now, I wouldn't mind a level crossing in the town. We just have to figure out exactly how that's going to work. Because the outside connection's only here, it's very easy to work back in. And it would also allow tourists to arrive directly here from the outside connection too. So maybe let's just budge our train station along slightly. Then, after just having spent some time doing these hedges, we will immediately remove some of them, although we probably will have the same design come back in at some point. And then how plausible is a little level crossing here, straight out the train station? And then if I can draw it in first, something like that. And then hopefully just a cute little curve as possible. Yeah, and I think a level crossing can really give kind of a small town vibe, can't it? So I think we'll go with that then. I guess we're going to have outside connection trains coming in here as well. We should probably go for 2 tracks, shouldn't we, I think? Let's go with this then. We'll feed this one back into a massa and kind of flank the highway with it. We could bring it underneath, but I think that's just over-engineering for the sake of it. So that'll go back out there. We should maintain this one because I think there is actually multiple lines going to the outside Amasa connection, isn't there? I think there is. Well, of course, I guess it could be a totally separate connection, couldn't it? Cool. So that's there. Now let's decide exactly how we're going to bring this from Whiskey into the new town. Bring our topography on, and then hopefully we can just go straight across. Again, we'll do the same thing we did with the bridge. Let's set the height to be here. And here as well. We'll need to do some more terraforming work here to blend in these layers. It does look horrendously harsh in the snow, but we'll work with that in the time lapse as we tidy everything up. If that can just come straight across 180 with a minus 0.1% gradient decrease, I'm going to be happy with that, I think. And then this can just go over the hills and far away. We'll have to be a little more careful with how the trains behave here. And then I think we do have a dip here. We'll send the train line through this way and then under the highway. I think is the best play. And then where's that going to take us? We've just got some gradient work to do from there to there now, haven't we? So let's push that out. Give ourselves a nice big platform. And then let's get this hooked up with a somewhat sensible gradient at least. So annoyingly, we have cargo trains coming down our new rail, which I love the aesthetic of, but I don't really want cargo trains passing through here. As far as I'm aware, there isn't a way for us to stop that, because they're hooked into the rail yard regardless. So it might just be something we have to deal with. Either that, or we just lose the outside connection, I guess. Or maybe it's because it's going to the new outside connection, maybe we do need to actually hook it into this one. Which I guess we could just do by sinking it down a little bit, couldn't we? It's not totally out of the realms of possibility. Where are you going? Are you going to stop in the new town, I wonder? Are you going straight through? Cool. So let's now extend the line over here then. So it is this one here, isn't it? So rather than going to the outside connection, I now need you to come and stop here. And the other side as you come back through. And then hopefully you will also stop at Lewes now as well. So that sorts that outside connection. And then that leaves the other one we had here, which goes to all the way down to the other outside connection, if I remember rightly. It does indeed, yes. That's that line there, isn't it? Okay. Cool. So you now need to rename that train line. Let's click on it. It's this one here. So this now becomes Whiskey to Newtown and then outside connection. So that now allows our Sims to travel all the way from the Newtown over here, straight the way through Whiskey up to Inverness, where they can then change at the Inverness station to get into Bourbon. So some people just got off the train here and are now walking down the tracks to get to school. I do not like that. I don't think there's a way we can really stop them from doing it. Unfortunately, just due to the fact that these are invisible walking networks. Maybe there's something we can do with one of the invisible pathways, perhaps. Let's have a little look here. I mean, maybe if we put one up to here, we can encourage them off of the tracks, or at least off of the station, would be somewhat of an improvement. We'll put anarchy on there too. Maybe let's just try that and we'll see if it helps. another bunch has just come out the main door, which is promising. Looks like there's another batch on the way down here now as well. Okay, maybe that was just a one-time thing then. Though these guys are walking around the other side of the station, maybe? I think it's a possibility. But either way, we will get to watch a train now approaching to our new small town station over here. Very exciting. Can people get off? Very cool. Is it a busy train? No. not even slightly busy. It's actually completely dead. Yeah, so we can certainly see the problem here, right? We almost certainly want a elevated pedestrian path over here. Otherwise, people are just going to be trying to cross the rail crossing all the time. So let's do that while we indeed are here, and then we'll have a look at providing access onto the highway over this way. So let's bring a little elevated path over. We'll do one of the vanilla ones. Let's have a covered pedestrian bridge, and we'll put this, let's go for 7.5 meters over the track. And we will go for, which way should we have it? I guess we could do two either side. I mean, I guess that's kind of what these stairs are here for, but clearly they're just aesthetic, aren't they? They're not walking up and crossing those stairs, which they should, really. I'm kind of... Can I delete those stairs, maybe? Is it perhaps a sub-element of the station? No, it's not, is it? That's just a bike rack underneath. Yeah, so they should really use those stairs for that, but obviously no dice, but that's fine. Maybe that'll come in a future patch, maybe to make those stairs functional on these stations. Let's have that there like that. I don't mind the pillar being in the middle of the platform, as long as it's not on the tracks, we're okay. And then let's just descend back down to earth from here. We'll just do a little 32-meter ramp, take out some hedging where it's not necessary, and we'll connect that in there. And then with this one, I think we'll just come straight back down to street level. 32 meters again, gives us a nice, happy medium measurement. Hopefully that encourages them to not walk on the tracks anymore. Don't tell me they're crossing down here as well. What are you doing? Please stop that, oh my god. Right, so clearly the new train stations are a little flawed. we'll hopefully just encourage them to use the pedestrian. Oh my word. That is not good. Let's keep the doggos safe, please. So adjustments to be had there, I think, isn't there? Either way, we'll see if we can save that with a little bit of jiggery-pokery with some of the pathways coming over during the time lapse. Until that point, let's start mapping out this road here, which I think I'm going to have heading back to the highway. And it's likely this will be the only one, so I think we'll actually just carry this on pretty much parallel with that rail line for it to eventually veer off into a little bit of an interchange. I think we'll just jump into Google Earth and find something pretty simple. So I think we'll just do some very basic slip ramps here. There's probably won't be a road. Actually, no, there should be a road heading over this way because we have this here that wants to also be connected into this part of the city as well as a bit of a country road sort of vibe. So we'll upgrade our highway here into a straight elevation. Let's do 2 sections of Sunset Highway as bridges. And then we can terraform underneath here now as well. So let's just put together a very simple sort of slip ramp highway system here. Nothing overly the top. Super. So that gives us some little rural highway access. I'm really interested to see how the AI picks up this country road here that leads back into the farms that went down to last episode's oil refinery. So it'll be interesting to see if anyone uses that. In terms of builds out here, I wouldn't be adverse to putting something on the mountaintop. Maybe we can get the satellite uplink out here, quite far away from any of the other civilization we've got on the map. But until that day, little country road is always welcome, isn't it? Very nice. And a nice little cute laid interchange. Trains passing through here too. A little bit of embankment where needed also. A little few key work around here as well. Super, so I think with that hooked in, let's go ahead now and expand the road network frame where it makes sense, hook into these lower levels. And just expand a bit of a temporary grid ready for next episode where we can get stuck into expanding the brand new town, which don't forget to drop in name suggestions in the comments below. Always happy to let you guys name these new towns, and hopefully someone's going to use this bridge rather than them walking on the damn tracks. Stop it. Stop walking on them. Anyway, maybe they will. We'll see. Oh, at least they're using this one though. Yeah. Oh well. We'll see how it goes regardless. And then we'll see how this performs as well. Maybe we want to move this junction further down a little bit. We'll see how the town develops regardless. But either way, let's do some network expansion around the brand new unnamed town. And then we'll be right back. Alright guys, let's have a little spin around the new area, shall we? So first of all, we have changed the outside train connection just because I thought it made more sense to actually have it go to Amasa, which is the one we had before. And then we just brought the train bridge over the highway, which gives us some really lovely layers of height here now, doesn't it, over the motorway here. Very cool indeed. The interchange itself gets the occasional car, but otherwise it's pretty quiet. Obviously, I expect that to change as the town grows out. Various road network frames have been expanded around, just ready for preparing those incoming builds, and thankfully our demands have balanced out a little bit. As the episode's going on, we do have residential demand, a ton of industrial, and plenty of office as well. I'm thinking we'll build kind of a smaller local industrial cargo port out here. Obviously non-functional because I don't want the huge actual cargo container port to be here, so we'll have some fun with that, I think, possibly next episode. Also prepped for a little beach here as well. I'm thinking of kind of like this to be a little bit of a kind of boreal spring break town, I think is the way I'm kind of thinking about it here. Lots of decal work with the different varying sand textures. Of course, we've done this in Kokai, our recent modded CS2 build, so pretty similar things to do over here, just preparing for that land at next episode. Left some of the landing over here with a little bit of a hill as the road wraps around it, where it does come underneath the bridge again back to the other road network frame, and then just designed a little stairway here, and that of course heads back up to the top of the town, and it looks really nice. I'm pretty happy with how this functions. Little flower beds in between aren't super colourful yet because it's autumn, but that's okay. A little bit of hedge work and then a little kind of switchback path that takes people back to the top of the town down toward the beach side. Then around the school, just some simple parking patterns. Using those new car parks that came with the free update, of course, just trying to use those as and where we can. And then just some basic services, a little police station here, some light bush and tree work on the roads, and one of the new roundabouts on the entrance to town over here as well. Alongside our rails over here, haven't had anyone use the bridge yet, and I've also drawn in a elevated invisible pathway over the stairs in a bid to try and get them to use it. I'm not sure if they will. Maybe they've already had their paths pre-designated, I'm not entirely sure, but we will hopefully see someone use that. But you can see there are people using this pathway, which does get them back into the station. There is an invisible pathway there, of course. And we'll do lots more around the station too. A nice little strip mall opposite, I think might be quite nice to open next episode, mightn't it? But really fun to use one of the new stations regardless. And I reckon we'll get some bus fun over here as well. It'd be nice to have a bit of a shuttle bus back into to the major sort of metropolitan areas of Egginburgh, won't it? Otherwise, that'll do it for our brand new town plan. Thank you so much indeed for watching. If you have enjoyed it, likes, comments and shares below really do help the channel to grow. On our relentless march to 100,000, we are so close now. It's absolutely crazy. So thank you for all of those new people that have joined the channel. Hope you're enjoying the huge library of CS2 and 1 content we have on the channel to enjoy. Massive shout out to all the patrons supporting the channel, with a special roll call to Louis Adlam. You're all legends. Thank you for all your support. Links down to that and Instant Gaming are down below if you would like to help support the videos further than the likes and shares. Don't forget to get the name suggestions for this brand new town down below for me. I'm really keen to see what you guys. Otherwise, we'll either start out with, I think, with the beachfront next episode, a little bit of a spring break town maybe. Maybe ask if you guys have any suggestions of real life spring break towns in the US. I'd love to jump into Google with some inspiration. I think having a bit of a more boreal focused beach might be quite a lot of fun. So any suggestions on that, please do let me know as well. We'll certainly tackle a kind of smaller town industrial cargo port at some point as well. That does sound like a lot of fun, doesn't it? Otherwise, I'll catch you next time. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, enjoy the rest of your day.